Hello, good day, grade 5 students. Welcome to our e-learning for today. And for today's video, we're going to talk about land and climate of the Midwest. So we're going to start a new lesson for today, and it's all about Midwest. Alright, so what are the things that we're going to do for today? First, I want you to watch patiently this YouTube video until the end. And afterwards, I want you to download and answer the worksheet given to you, attached in your class dojo. And finally, we're going to talk about your Socrative assignment. Your Socrative assignment for today will be English, and the Socrative assignment for Social Studies will be on Wednesday. Alright? So let's start our lesson. So for our lesson for today, again, talking about land and climate of the Midwest. So we will have our discussion, and I will discuss about the worksheet, and finally some reminders. Let's start our discussion. Alright? So I'm going to show you here the page of your social studies, so you can get your book right now. Okay, so let's start reading. So land and climate of the Midwest. So build on what you know. So does wind seem harsher out in the open than in the forest? The Midwest has lots of flat, open plains. What might the wind feel like there? Let's continue reading. Land and water of the Midwest. So the main idea here is the Midwest is a central region of wide open plains, thick woods, and huge waterways. So you have three things here. You have open plains, thick woods, and huge waterways. So let's see here. The Midwest lies in the middle of the country. Canada lies in the north. The Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains lie on either side of it. The eastern part of this region features the Great Lakes. The land is mostly flat with some hilly areas. The rainfall here supports deep forest. Fine forest in the north can withstand the harsh climate. The south has a mix of trees. So as you can see here, you have different directions. You have the eastern part. So in the eastern part, you can see the Great Lakes. In the north, you can see or you can find pine forest. And the southern part of the Midwest, they have a mix of trees. Okay, so I'm going to show you right now a map of the Midwest. So in this map right now, you can see the north. So north is Canada, and when you go to the eastern part, you will see the Great Lakes, the 5 Great Lakes. When you go to the western part, you will see the plains. Okay, so you can see here the plain states, and finally going to the south, you will find the mix of trees. All right, so this is the map. Let's continue reading. So I'm going also to show you, before we continue reading, I'm going to show you also some pictures of flatland here, so that you can have the idea what is a flatland. Okay, so it's a plain land. There are no big mountains. So usually you have only some hills, a lot of flatland, some a lot of grass fields, and some trees. Okay, so let's continue reading. West of the Great Lakes are the Great Plains. The climate is drier here, so it's drier. Prairie grasses cover much of the land. A prairie is dry, mostly flat grassland with few trees. People have turned prairies into farmland. Much of the country's wheat and corn is grown here. So I'm going to show you right now a picture of prairies. So again, remember prairies, they are dry, mostly flat grassland with few trees. So because these are flat lands and there's a little bit of rain most of the time, the farmers in this country turn them into farmlands, and they are planting wheat and corn, and they are producing a lot of wheat and corn here. So as you can see here in this picture below. So you can read here, Iowa farmland. Midwestern farmers have turned grasslands into farms. So let's continue reading. So you can see here in page 191 the map that we just discussed. So as you can see here, the color green, they are plain states, so like North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and the purple, they are the Great Lakes states because they are very near to the 5 Great Lakes. So Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. Okay, so you have this is the Midwest states. So let's continue our reading. So here you can see water resources. So where do they get their water? So where do they have economy based on water. So the Midwest has two main waterways. The Great Lakes are one of them. So as you have seen in the picture above, there are the 5 Great Lakes. So glaciers created these 5 lakes. They formed the world's largest body of fresh water. So take note of that. So they form the largest body of fresh water. Rivers and canals connect the lakes to the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Ships reach the lakes through these waterways. So remember the first waterways is Great Lakes, and the second one is the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is the second main waterway. With its major tributaries, the Missouri and Ohio rivers, it forms the nation's largest river system. So remember that the Mississippi is actually in the southern region, but Mississippi is not big enough if there's no Missouri and Ohio rivers. So based from this Missouri River and Ohio River, they form the largest river, which we call the Mississippi River. So these rivers are also known as a tributary. So a tributary is a river or stream that flows into another river. So I'm going to show you right now a picture of tributary. So in this tributary, you will see 2 rivers. Okay. So in these 2 rivers, River A and River B, they are connected together and forming River C. So this river is also known as a tributary, because a tributary is a river or stream that flows into another river. Okay. Now, dams and levees help limit floods on these rivers. A levee is a high river bank that stops the river from overflowing. So we discussed before in our last lesson about dams and a levee. I'm going to show you right now what's a levee. So a levee is a blockade. So it stops the overflow of the river. So if there's a flood, it protects the people because it stops the overflow of water going to the houses. Okay, so let's continue reading. Before the invention of railroads, travel on waterways was faster and less expensive than land travel. So towns along water roads became trading centers. Some, such as Chicago and Milwaukee, became large cities. So remember that most of the cities that are big today, they are very near rivers. We discussed this before because rivers are very important for our livelihood, for transporting of goods, for drinking, for building. So you need water. So trading centers were built always near to waterways. So here you can see Chicago and Milwaukee. Okay, so let's read. Waterfalls can make river travel difficult. So I think you know what's a waterfall. So locks can help ships get past waterfalls. So you can actually go through a waterfall. So they use the system which we call locks. And I'm going to show you a video of how locks work. So a lock is a part of a waterway that is closed off by gates. So ships enter a lock. Okay. Then people let water into or out of it. As the water level goes up or down, so does the ship. So the lock at St. Anthony Falls in Minneapolis raises and lowers ships by 50 feet. So this is an example of lock. So I'm going to show you right now a video what happens in a lock. Okay. So let's go to the next page. Climate, plants, and animals. So main idea, the Midwest can have severe weather. The location of the Midwest affects its climate. There is no ocean nearby to warm the land in winter and cool it in summer. So as a result, the climate varies more than in coastal regions. In parts of the Midwest, the temperature can change as much as 100 degrees Fahrenheit between winter and summer. So 100 degrees Fahrenheit is about like 38 degrees Celsius. So the Great Lakes are not big as an ocean. but they affect the climate by adding moisture to the air. In winter, this moisture causes lake effect snow. So what is this lake effect snow? I'm going to show you in this video right now here. So in this lake effect snow, you can see there's an evaporation of warm air, okay, going up like this. And now this air will be mixed with very cold air in the atmosphere, and because of this mixture of warm air and very cold air together, it produces a lot of snow, and this is what we call a lake effect snow. All right, so the Midwest also have fierce snowstorms called blizzards, and also I'm going to show you later a video of blizzards often strike the region. People have adopted, so they wear layers of clothing. They use covered walkways to get from one building to another. So right now, I'm going to show you a short clip of a blizzard. Now, during winter, people also find ways to enjoy winter. They go skiing, skating, and ice fishing. They hold winter festivals. Okay? Next, tornadoes often hit the Midwest in warmer weather. Tornadoes are strong spinning storms with high winds. And this is a picture here of a tornado. Okay, I think you know what's a tornado. Now let's go to the picture below here. So this is again the one that we discussed. This is the lake effect snow. So the warm air goes up and it will mix with the very cold wind or cold air in the atmosphere, and it freezes that warm air, and it will show an effect. It will produce a lot of snow, which we call the lake effect snow. Okay, so finally, let's read Midwestern plants and animals. Plants and animals have adapted to the region's climate extremes. For example, some prairie grasses have deep roots. They help the plants find moisture. So here, prairie grasses, they have been adapted to the extreme climate of the Midwest. So pine trees keep their needles for years. This saves energy and helps the trees survive harsh weather. So I think I've shown you a picture of pine forest. So pine trees, they have needle-like leaves. So this will actually give them enough energy for the whole year. All right. So animals have also adapted. Some birds migrate to warmer places. So prairie dogs dig underground dens that protect them from severe weather. So a prairie dog is a rodent that belongs to the squirrel family. So prairie dog is not actually literally a dog. It's not a dog. It's most likely a rodent or look like a squirrel. I'm going to show it to you right now. So they dig underground dens, okay, just to survive the weather. Okay. Next, millions of bison or buffalo once roamed the Great Plains. Thick coats of fur kept them warm. Hunters wanted this fur. By 1885, they had killed all but a few hundred bison. Then people started protecting bison. Today, about 150,000 bison live in the United States. So I'm going to show you right now a picture here of a bison. So that's a bison. Okay. So they've been hunted before, but now USA government, they are protecting this bison. Okay. Now let's go to the lesson summary. So first, lesson summary. Landforms of the Midwest include prairies, hills, and forests. So remember this. Prairies, hills, and forests. These are the landforms. There are two main waterways of the Midwest, and that's Great Lakes, that's number 1, and Mississippi River system, that's number 2. And finally, the Midwest is very hot in summer and very cold in winter. And why it matters. People, plants, and animals have adapted to Midwest climate and made it their home. And finally, you're going to, again, read the lesson review. And I want you to know the meaning of a levee, a lock. And I want you to name the major Midwestern landforms and how does location affect climate in the Midwest. So this lesson review is so important because they are part of your Socrative task. All right, we go back to our lesson, to the worksheet now. So this is the sample of the worksheet that you're going to answer. And this is from page 190 to 193. Write your name here, your grade and section, and answer along So we have only 2 pages, so it's a short activity. You have the whole day to answer this activity and send to my email. Alright, once you're done, you're going to study everything, and the Socrative task for your reminder will be on Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And the room name for Socrative task on Wednesday for social studies will be, again, AAS grade 5. So that's the end of our lesson for today. I hope you understood all the details. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.